G'day guys, and welcome back to Step by Step Back to Basics. Today on the channel we're going to be looking at this Daly 1 amp active balancer. An active balancer is not something that you would usually use with 18650 batteries, but we can utilize these in maintaining our batteries and to save us some time. So let's learn this together, because this is my first active balancer, and let's have some fun. So let's have a look at what we got in the box. Of course, we got the 1 amp active balancer. We also got this balance lead, which it looks like this is their first active balancer, but I told them I needed it for a 7S configuration, but it looks like this can do up to 20S, but they just cut off the rest of the cables. I would have liked that they had sent the cable fully attached so I could just use the ones I needed and maybe use this in a different configuration later on. I'll see if they can send me a new one, but I'm fairly new to this, so I doubt they will. We also get the Bluetooth module and the 1 amp active balancer itself. So what I've done is I'm going to utilize all these 7 cells that we just made, and we're going to set them up in a 24 volt configuration with the active balancer connected to it. I have built a couple of things here. If you can see, I did add all ferrules to the end of the active balancer, and I do have a little connection board which I made. I 3D printed the base plate, and I have some more balance cables which I made with lugs, so we can connect them to our terminals of our batteries, and more ferrules so we can go through the connection plate. So let me go ahead and connect this all up, and I'll be back in just a moment. Before we have a look at the app, I just want to show you guys a couple of quick things. I've gone ahead and hooked up my ISDT charger through my DIY power supply to see if it'll actually balance while current is coming in. I also was having difficulty hooking up the smart balancer, but right here on the dongle there's a little button, and if you press that button, if it's not showing up in the app, yeah, it'll actually show up straight away. I'm not sure, because like I said, there's no instructions with this. So let's go ahead and pull up the app now and have a look at it. Okay, so this is the app. This is the correct one for Daly. I think a lot of different manufacturers use this same app. So when you go into it, you will see the device just jump straight up, and if it doesn't, as I said, just hit that button on the Bluetooth dongle, and we open up the app. I'm not seeing voltage here. It does say the battery is at 29.2 volts, and we have 0 current at this point. So in a minute we'll start up the charging, and we'll see if we do actually see a current come up there. And this here is the actual the balancing actually occurring, taking it from the highest capacity cell and putting it to the lowest. And if we go down to the bottom here, we click on active balancing, we go into all these different settings. We just turned on. It's got a low battery protection. It's set at 3 volts for this battery, but you know what, I might go ahead and set this higher, because we know we're never going to go below 3.35 volts anyway. So 3.35. We'll go ahead and set that. Oh, this is this password. Their default password is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we go ahead and set this. So we know from our previous discharge graph that we really don't, there's no reason to go below 3.5 volts or 3.35 volts on this particular battery pack, since we're already utilizing 95% of the capacity. The high protection is set to 4.2 point cell. The balancing isn't actually going to start, if you look at the start the balancing, until 4.15. The reason I do this is, as we talked about in our top and bottom balance videos, is the battery itself, when you discharge it, becomes unbalanced. And if we were to go ahead and have the active balancer on all the time when it was in a low charge and it actually charged all the way up, it'd actually be more out of balance than what it was, because it does become out of balance when you discharge, and because we top balance the batteries, when we charge it back up, it comes back into balance. So we want to set this figure really high, so when the first cell reaches 4.15 volts, it'll actually discharge to the lowest cell. Well, this is a great feature because we don't want to be using this all the time, because like I said, it'll mess up the balance of the battery. The next feature is the difference. It's how much it actually do. So when the cells are more than 0.05 out of balance, that's when it'll actually balance them. So that's the setting for that. That's as low as you can go. The sleep time, which is 3,600 seconds, which is 60 minutes. So if this is not active for that long, it goes to sleep. The temperature protection, if it's less than -40, it won't charge. And if it's higher than 70 degrees, it won't charge. And we know that we have 7 cells in the series, and we're balancing at a maximum of 1 amp, which is what this active balancer can do. So let's go back to the main screen here. And as we can see, it is actually balancing. You see the red and the blue on the actual battery status. This shows it's transferring it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a current on this and see what we get. So I'm going to set my charger. And I want to go ahead and start it at maybe 10 amps. And we'll go from there. My DIY charger can actually charge up to 15 amps. Even though the charger itself can do 20, the actual power supply can only do 17 amps, and you only want to use 80% of that, so I only ever charge it at 15 amps. So now that I've gone ahead and set this, I'll go ahead and start it. Alright, so let's have a look at, see if we have a current coming in. Because I was thinking that maybe this is not going to have a parameter we can look at, because I don't have a smart BMS hooked up. I only have a active balancer hooked up to it. So the only parameter we might actually see is actually the cell balancing. Something occurred here, fault. I don't know how. Cell voltage high. Let's go ahead and drop the voltage down a little bit, but it is keeping them balanced. Nothing's over 4.2, so it is still balancing the batteries. So I wanted to see how much power we can put into it. It's actually just, I think when it actually initialized, it actually was up, and now the charger itself dropped down to 1.7 amps, because these batteries are pretty much fully charged, because we balanced them yesterday. But I don't know what this is. Cell 1 high voltage. It's telling me that cell 1 was actually too high. So I think that peaked and then it balanced it. So we're actually doing okay. It seems to be working fine with the balancing. And like I said, as long as no cell goes above 4.2, we're perfectly fine. So yeah, it seems to do what it's supposed to do. I wish the active balancer itself would pick up the current coming in, but I don't have a smart BMS. I may purchase one, because I do purchase all this with my own money. None of these videos are sponsored. So I may pick one up and let's hook them all up together before we go ahead and build our big power supply. Just see how that utilizes. So okay, this looks pretty good. Seems to do what it states it does, and that's the most important thing. So there we have it. This Daly active balancer, 1 amp, does actually meet the advertised specifications. I will leave a link below. I did purchase this on AliExpress. I got it for like 20 bucks. I bought it through the wholesale website because they didn't actually have a minimum requirements, because all the other advertisers sell these for like $45, $50. So you might want to give that a try. They may have updated this since then, since they were unsure if they were able to fulfill this order, but they did actually do that for me. So, but yeah, this is a great little active balancer for the price. Even at $40, it's a great active balancer at the price. So once again, guys, I do appreciate you watching Step by Step Back to Basics. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And thanks for my subscribers who are watching this video. Please give me that thumbs up and hit that bell notification for some upcoming videos. I do try to get at least 1 to 2 videos per week. So thanks again and have a great day. And as always, if you buy cheap, you will buy twice. And keep it simple whenever possible.